In this lesson, I'll tell you about flatshot command, which is a very efficient method of creating 2D geometries from 3D model. So here we have this 3D model, and let's say that we want to create different kind of 2D geometries like top view, front view, isometric view using this model. So you can directly create those kind of geometries in the model view using flatshot. For starting flatshot command, go to the section panel of home tab and expand it, and here you will see this flatshot command. You can also use its command equivalent flatshot. So let's click here. Now this flatshot window or panel will pop up. Here we have some of the options, and we'll look at all of these options one by one. So let's start with the destination. So firstly, we have a radio button which tells you to insert the new object as a block. So obviously we want this to be inserted as a block for now, and if you want to replace any existing block, then you can select the second radio button, and if you want to export it as a DWG file, then click on this export to a file, which we don't want. So we have selected this insert as a new block. Now here we have this foreground and obscured lines. So right now the foreground lines are the lines which are visible from your current perspective, and here we have the obscured lines, which are the hidden lines which are not visible from your current perspective, but they are hidden because of the geometry. So if you want to show all of these obscured line, then click on this radio button. And also we have some tangential edges option here. So if you keep this radio button checked, then the tangential edges will also be visible. That I'll let you know in a moment what these tangential edges are. In fact, at first we will create the top view of our geometry with the help of this flatshot, but before that, let's cancel it and let's decide the view which we want to create. So make sure that you first orient your drawing in the view which you want to get as 2D. So right now let's select this top view, and here we have this top view. So let's say that we want to get the top view as 2D. So move your view cube to show the top view, and also make a note that all the views of flatshot will be made in XY plane only. So no matter where you orient your drawing, all your drawing views will be created only in XY plane. So right now we want to create this top view. Let's select this top, go to the section, go to flatshot, and select insert as new block. In the foreground lines, I have selected the default option of by block, color and line type as continuous. Also we have here option of obscured lines which we don't want to show for now, and let's click on create. And here we have the geometry. Let's click here and press enter thrice to accept the default values, and as you can see that we have the top view. If you change it to hidden view, then you'll be able to see what we get. So here we have the hidden view where all the obscured lines are hidden, and this is exactly what we got here. Now let's move on once again to the shaded view, and again go to this flatshot, and this time we'll turn on this obscured lines option as well. And for your reference, I'll change it to green in order to make it more clear. And now click on create. So once again we are using the same options, but this time we have obscured lines visible, and let's press enter thrice, and now we have some extra lines here, and these lines are indicated as green color. Now let's move on to the 2D wireframe view in which all the lines are visible, and now you can see here the difference. So here we have this hidden view in which only the components which are visible from the top are visible, and they are drawn. In this case, when the obscured line option is also turned on, we are able to see all of these geometries which are obscured or hidden from the top view. Now, as you can see here that in this 2D wireframe, we also have some extra lines here. Now these are the tangential edges. Now let's move on to shaded view, and let's see what these things actually look in this 3D view. So right now you can see that here we have this fillet, and when I hover my cursor over this fillet, I am able to see these two lines. Now these are the two tangential lines which are generated when you use flatshot option and you select the radio button indicated as tangential lines. So let's again go to this top view, and let's select the parallel view, and once again I'll make another view, and this time I'll select this include tangential edges option and click on create. And here we have the third type of 2D geometry, and in this case the tangential edge is also included. So this is the end point of fillet which is created at this point. So here we have these three different kind of 2D views which are generated from the 3D drawing. So in this way you can create different kind of views. So right now we have created all of these views only for the top view of the geometry. Now what if we want to create the view for other side of the geometry? For example, let's move on to the front view. Now if you want to create the 2D geometry for this front view, then go to the front, again go to flat shot and select the options as per your requirement. So I'll turn off this include tangential edges option, and I'll also turn off this show obscured lines option and click on create. Now once again you're able to only see this 2D geometry, but in fact the geometry is drawn on the XY plane. So let's first turn off this snap UCS option, dynamic UCS option, and let's click at a point and press enter thrice to accept the default value. Now let's move on to the top view and you'll be able to see it more clearly here. Now what if you want to create an isometric view? So for creating an isometric view, you need to go to the isometric view from your view cube. So let's click on this home icon and here we have the isometric view. Now once again go to flat shot and select the options, click on create and select a point where you want to place it and press enter thrice. Go to top view and you're able to see the isometric view more clearly now. Let's move on to parallel to see it more clearly. Now we have all the three different views of the same 3D geometry in 2D, and you can now arrange it according to your requirement. So let's now say that we want to move it to this position, and these are the 2D drawings which are not required from the 3D model, and here we have all of these three different views using the flat shot in model space. So this was all about creating 2D views in the model space of a 3D model using flatshot command. In the next lesson, I'll tell you about creating these kind of views in the layout tab of AutoCAD 3D.